Hello, my presentation is in honor and memory of Conrad Limbaugh. Conrad Limbaugh was my uncle, my mother's brother. He grew up in Corona del Mar and Long Beach, loved the ocean and everything contained within it. Conrad's love of the ocean and sea life led him to study, dive, photograph, collect, and publish papers about his discoveries. Conrad Limbaugh and his friend Andreas Reckneitzer obtained one of the first aqualungs sold in the United States. They taught themselves how to dive without instruction or manuals. Conrad became the first marine diving specialist and an underwater naturalist in 1953 at the Scripps Institution of Oceanography. He trained divers, developed safety training programs, wrote diving instruction manuals, and issued diving permits. Conrad spent an enormous amount of time scuba diving, collecting samples, and photographing sea life. He published numerous research papers and routinely had articles published in Skin Diver magazine. Albert Tillman, LA County Sports Director, and Bev Morgan, lifeguard, went to Scripps Institution of Oceanography to train with Conrad Limbaugh in his dive training program. After training with Conrad Limbaugh, they started the Los Angeles County Public Scuba Training and Certification Program using Limbaugh's training techniques and diving manuals. These are still being used today. Conrad received a research grant from the University of California to study the kelp beds, fish life, and kelp harvesting. He belonged to the San Diego Bottom Scratchers, one of the oldest skin diving clubs in the world. He participated in 2 Scripps expeditions to Clipperton Island to study sharks. He worked for Walt Disney Studios as an underwater cinematographer and biologist. He was hired by the Union Oil Company to study refinery outfalls. He did contract work for the U.S. Navy, radio programs for the University of California, television programs. He formed the Scientific Diving Consultants with colleagues. They studied sewage outfall effects, did photography and underwater films, one called Rivers of Sand. They opened the Diving Locker in 1959, one of the first dive shops in San Diego. Besides Holocanthensis limbaughi, the Clipperton angelfish, there are other species that were named after Conrad Limbaugh. Conrad Limbaugh died in a cave diving accident in France in 1960 at the age of 35. He had gone to France to attend a conference and learned of an underwater river and had to see it. He is buried in a cemetery that overlooks the Mediterranean Sea in Cassis, France. Conrad Limbaugh's office was broken into shortly after his death. Many of his research notes and documents were stolen. No one was ever caught for this burglary. My father, Dr. Howard M. Fader, a marine biologist, spent many years completing and publishing 8 scientific papers of Conrad Limbaugh's unfinished research for him. One of these publications was Conrad's most important research project. This was Cleaning Symbiosis, which was on the cover of the August 1961 Scientific American magazine. The American Academy of Underwater Sciences awards an annual award for scientific diving leadership in Conrad Limbaugh's name and memory. He participated in the creation of 2 underwater preserves, one in La Jolla, California, and one in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Thank you.